Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tammy and this is Happiness Created. Today's video, I have all of my favorite farmhouse DIYs to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this video and let's get into it. For this first DIY, I have this picture that I got at the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to take those felt flowers off and then take the backing right off. I'm then going to take some black acrylic paint. I'm sorry, this was a couple of years ago, so I don't remember what kind it is, but I tried using the sponge and it just was not working for me. There was like no coverage at all. So I broke out the Waverly chalk paint in ink and I started using that, and the coverage was so much better. But I still wasn't getting quite enough with the sponge. So I switched it out for a paintbrush and that did the trick. So I painted the entire thing with this black Waverly chalk paint. Now I did try to get these felt flowers off and the paper, and man, I even tried my heat gun and it was not working. So I just took some of this adhesive spray that I got, I think, at the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to cover it with this black and white gingham ribbon paper, and then I'm going to just cut off all of the excess. So this was one of my one of my like original videos. So I can see where I've grown a lot as a crafter. I don't know if you guys can, but I don't know. I guess, you know, once you've done it for a little bit, you learn new little tricks that you can use. So anyways, I just put some Mod Podge over the top of it, and then I just replaced the backing into the frame. Then I have these handles that I got at Walmart, and all I'm going to do is take some super glue. I believe I use a little bit of hot glue too. And then I'm just going to add them to the frame. Then I took some of these rub-on transfers, just that you can see the one right there with all of the vines and the wreath. And I just kind of added some kind of here and there on this tray. And quite honestly, you can't really see it all that well. Again, you know, learning curves. Believe me, I still have a lot to learn. I'm not saying that I don't, but I think I've come a long way. Anyway, and that's it for this one. I think for a staging tray, it came out pretty stinking cute. Let me know what you guys think. So for this next project, I have these little nesting boxes that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take all of the hardware off. I also took all of the stickers off and then put them aside. And then I'm going to take this, it looks like an ironing board. I don't know if you guys had these or not, but anyways, they've got like little not paper clips, oh my good grief, clothespins on the bottom. So I pulled the clothespins off and took as much of the paper off as I could. And then I am going to paint everything. I end up using the color Celery from Waverly. It is a chalk paint, and I go over the ironing board and the 3 boxes. Once those are all done, I do go over them with some of the white Waverly chalk paint and then dry it with my heat gun. And then once everything is dry, I'm going to take some super glue and some hot glue, and I'm going to glue the boxes to the ironing board. Once they're all nice and secure, I'm just going to put the hardware back on the front of these boxes. Now, I apologize for the view here. You obviously can't see it from behind, but I do have some of these rub-on transfers, and I'm just going to add, I believe I just add the one, yeah. And that's it for this one. I think it came out so adorable. Let me know what you guys think. For this next one, I have 5 picture frames. I'm going to take everything out of the frames once I get them opened. I then just take some of the white Waverly chalk paint and I give all of these frames 2 coats. Once they're all painted and dried, I put them aside. And then I have this like gray marbly paper. It's kind of like my countertop, which is why it's so hard to see, but I'm just gonna trace it and then cut out all of the pieces. And I do this with all 5 frames. And also I don't bother to adhere the paper to the backing because the glass will keep it in place. And then once I have that done, I'm going to take the glass and just give it a good cleaning, and then I'm going to reassemble the picture frames. Then I have this adhesive tile that I got from the Dollar Tree. So I am going to cut it apart. And I'm sorry, again, I'm out of frame. I'm still working on that. The good news is I got a new setup, so my new videos coming out should be so much better. But anyway, so once I get this all cut up, I'm going to start assembling my project. So once I decide how I'm gonna lay out all of my pieces, I am going to take some super glue and some hot glue, and I'm gonna glue the picture frames together. So now that these 4 frames are together, I just flip it over and I have some popsicle sticks. They're like the medium-sized popsicle sticks. And I'm just gonna hot glue them all on the back of, where all of the seams are. And that will keep this picture a lot more stable. So once I get that all done on the back, I'm just gonna flip it over, and then I'm taking my 5th picture frame and I'm just making some marks so I know where it's going to sit, and then I am going to just try to reinforce it a little bit more from the front. And you won't see any of these because I stayed within those parameters of where the 5th picture frame is going. And then it's time to add the tile stickers. So I'm just doing just that. I'm just going to add them all to the 4 corners, and then I'm going to add the bigger piece in the center. Then once all of that is together, I'm going to take some of my antique wax and I am just going around all of the frames just to kind of dull down the white a little bit. And then I add just a little tiny bit to each of the pile pieces. And that's it for this one. I think this is super adorable. Let me know what you guys think. For this next project, I'm taking 6 4x6 frames and some of these skewers from the Dollar Tree. Once I get them all opened, I'm going to take all of the frames apart. Then I take some super glue and some hot glue, and I'm just gonna glue the glass pieces back into place. And now that I've got them all cleaned up, it's time to assemble. So I use some super glue and some hot glue, and I start to assemble. And I get these two done, and then I realize, oh, I probably should do the skewers first since they have to be marked up. So I'm just measuring the skewer and then cutting them to the sizes that I need. Then once I get them all cut up, I am going to apparently cut some more. So I'm trying to make X's in these frames. So if I take one long one and then I take the other side and I want to cut it in half so that it's not overlapping, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to take all of those skewers and I'm going to paint them white. And I do that with one of those little sponges because I just think it's just easier. So then I am going to just distress them a little bit with some of the Waverly antique wax. So now I'm going to start putting these skewers into place. So I use a little bit of hot glue and super glue, and that's how I get them all into place. Now with all of the skewers in place, I am just going to finish assembling my, what is going to be, I'm sure you guys have probably guessed it. It's going to be a lantern. And this will be the roof part of this lantern. So I used super glue and hot glue for the bottom parts of the top piece, and then for the top piece I am taking a skewer and I'm going to hot glue that to the space so that there's something to grip onto. And then I'm just going to put that aside so that I can work on the base part of the lantern. So for the base, I am taking one of those foam boards from the Dollar Tree and I just trace out the frames and just cut a square piece out. And there we go. We're all measured, everything works, and the candle is working, so that's good. So now I'm gonna take some boxwood greenery, and I believe I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to just make a circle on this piece of foam board with the boxwood. And I'm just doing that because I want it to surround this candle, and then I will be able to change out the decorative pieces that I put in here, but the greenery and the candle will always be there, if that makes sense. And you'll see in a second what I'm talking about. So now I'm taking some of those white pip berries and I'm just going to make like a little circle. I'm going around twice and I'm just going to add that to the greenery. So then I take some of those little plastic roses from the Dollar Tree. They were those little mini things that were all the rage. And I'm just going to tack a few of them in place right around this candle. And then lastly, I'm just going to take some antique wax and go over everything. And that's it for this one. I think it's so beautiful. Let me know what you guys think. For this next project, I have one of those chargers. It's almost got like a gold finish to it. And then I have a spoon and fork, bamboo spoon and fork from the Dollar Tree. So I'm taking the spoon and fork and I'm going over just the front and the sides with the Waverly Antique Wax, and then I will wipe off the excess. Then I have this image I printed out using my Cricut. It came from Design Space. It says, "Kitchen is the heart of the home," and I'm just going to add that to the center of this charger. Then I'm going to take that fork and spoon and I'm just going to use my super glue and hot glue to adhere the spoon and fork to the charger. Once those are adhered, I'm going to take some of this lamb's ear that I got from Walmart, and I'm going to hot glue a few pieces right to the top of this charger. And then I take some more of those white pip berries, and I'm just wrapping it around one of my Cricut tools. And then I'm just going to, I don't know, I kind of just fluff it up a little bit. And I just hot glue that right to the center. It doesn't really have a shape. It's just kind of like a big bundle. But anyway, that's it for this one. I love this piece. It's still in my kitchen today. Let me know what you guys think. So for this next project, I got this wood blank. I believe I got it at Michael's. And I am taking some of my elephant chalk paint and going over the entire piece. Then I take some of the mineral chalk paint and do a very light dry brushing over the elephant. Once that's all dry, I'm going to take some of these just words that I cut out in different fonts with my Cricut, and I'm just going to add them to this wood piece. Then I got this wooden word. It says family. So I'm going to take that and I'm just trying to center it as best I can. And then I'm going to hot glue it to the very top of this piece. And then I just take a piece of jute twine and I'm going to hot glue it to the back, and that will be the hanger. I then take more of the lamb's ear and just adhere it like under the family word. There was like a little space, so I thought that would be really cute there. And that's it for this one. I absolutely love this. My stepdaughter loved it so much, I ended up giving it to her. Let me know what you think. So for this next project, I have one of these Valentine signs, and I got it from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to paint it in the Moss Waverly chalk paint. Once it's dry, I'm just going to take a pencil and I'm just using the lines that are already there with the wood slats, and I'm just creating a shiplap look. And then I used a Sharpie to kind of go over the lines, and then I took the mineral chalk paint and did a dry brushing. Then I found this other design on Design Space. Sorry, that's my dog. and it has like the kitchen conversions, you know, the tablespoon to, or teaspoon to tablespoon kind of thing. So I am just going to add that right to this piece. Then I'm just going to flip it over, and I do add a jute hanger to the back. But I'm wrapping a piece of jute around the bottom just to give it a little more, I don't know, make it look a little nicer. Now back then I didn't finish my backs, so that's how this one looked. Yeah, so I guess I didn't add the jute until right now for the hanger. But anyway, I didn't lie. I did use jute for a hanger. And then once that's done, that is it for this project. Oh, and I just made a little shoestring bow with some jute and added it to the top. Let me know what you guys think. So I have these little glass jars from the Dollar Tree. They look like milk jars. And this little thankful picture piece, which obviously is not going to stay that way. So I tried to pull off as much of the paper as I could. I hadn't learned the trick about, you know, wetting it yet. So I took a dabber and I used my white Waverly chalk paint, and I painted the bottom or the back piece. And then I am just taking some of the elephant chalk paint to distress the frame a little bit. Then I have these little, the jars dried, and I had these little decals that said Farm Fresh, and I just added them to all three of the jars. And then I'm adding just some flowers. I needed something to prop the flowers up because they were cut too short. So I took one of those fuzzy white cloths from the automotive section and added that inside before I put the flowers. Let me know what you guys think of that one. Whew. Okay, now I have two of the 8x10 frames, and I believe I got these from Dollar Tree. If not, then I got them in one of the big packs from Michael's. So once I get all of the staples out and the canvas off, I am going to start adding these little half beads all around the, not all around, but like on the corners of these frames. Then I'm going to take the two frames, and I want to decide how high I want the top frame to be. Once I get that done, I'm going to cut the dowels so that I can add them to the four corners and attach the two frames together. So once I get those all glued into place, I'm taking some of the bigger half beads to add right to the top side of the corners. And that's mostly to hide the staples that hold the frames together. Then I take more of that foam board and I'm going to trace around the bottom of this piece so that I can use that piece of foam board as the base. Once I have it all cut out, I'm going to hot glue it right to the bottom of this piece. And then I take my elephant chalk paint and I am going to cover the entire piece with the elephant. Then I add some of the white Waverly chalk paint and kind of just dry brush it all over everything. Now I have some of this white fencing. I believe I got it from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just taking some pieces and I'm gonna hot glue the long piece inside. And then I do end up having to cut a few pieces so that I can fill in the extra space. And that's it for this piece. I love this piece. I still have it on my island with my salt and pepper shakers and my butter dish. Let me know what you guys think. Now I'm going to take 4 of these 4x6 frames. I'm going to open them up and empty them out. Then I'm going to take my hot glue and my super glue and I am going to attach all of these frames together. Once they're all adhered together, I'm going to take some of my white Waverly chalk paint and do a very heavy dry brushing on this piece. And the frames have so much texture to them, it just looked amazing. I say looked because I ended up giving this one away as well. But anyway, yeah. So once that's all dry, I have one of these small grapevine wreaths. I honestly can't remember where I got it. I think it might have been Dollar Tree, but I'm not positive. So I'm going to take some of this boxwood and I'm going to go all around this wreath and cover it up. Once that's done, I have this ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. I think it's got like a ticking line. I don't know. It's lined anyway. So I'm going to just figure out how I can hang this and which way it'll look best. And then I'm going to hot glue the ribbon together and then hot glue that to the back of these picture frames. And I do end up tacking this wreath to the window, if you will, so that it's not flopping around and it just looks even. And then I just add some of those purple flowers that I get from the Dollar Tree. They're like some of my favorite flowers from the Dollar Tree. But anyways, I'm just adding a few pieces to give the wreath a little more color. And that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. So I wanted to let you know I am on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. I also have a Buy Me a Coffee link if you're interested in supporting my channel. I will have all of those links in my description box down below. For this next project, I have one of these chargers and it's like a grayish color. So I took my white Waverly chalk paint and I just painted the inside piece. Then I'm taking this jute cording that I get from Amazon. It will be in my Amazon store down below. I absolutely love this stuff. I use it all the time. I went around, I believe, a total of 3 times just to make sure that I covered where the white paint was, because I'm not sure I was too even with it, to be honest. But anyways, then I have this Home Sweet Home that I printed off, or I cut out using my Cricut. and some of these flowers. These are the flowers I was talking about that I absolutely love from the Dollar Tree. So I am just going to take some greenery and some of these purple flowers and add them to the bottom of this charger. And then I have this bag of like burlap flowers and bows I got from Amazon. Those two will be in my store. And I'm just trying to find out which one is going to look best. And that's what I am adding to the bottom of the charger. So I decided on these 3 separate flowers. So I hot glued them all into place on the bottom. And then I'm just kind of tacking all of the flowers down. And that's it for this one. I love this piece. Let me know what you guys think. For this next project, I'm taking 2 of these wood planks. They come like, I don't know, 5 or 6 in a package from the Dollar Tree. And I have some of these bamboo skewers that I got off of Amazon. And I am just going to take it and decide how tall I want this piece to be. And then I'm cutting the bamboo pieces. They're like sticks, they're flat, they're not skewers. So I added 4 to each end. Oof, I'm not explaining this very well, am I? All right. So I added 4 on the outside of the square, and then I'm doing the same on the top part. And then I realized that it's not sturdy enough doing it this way. So I do add 4 more on the other sides of each corner, if that makes sense. It will in just a second, I promise. So you can probably see in the corner, there's like an L. So that just made it a lot sturdier. And then I have this little block piece of wood from the Dollar Tree, and I'm adding that to the top. And then this round, like half bead knob thing on top of that. Then I took some of the smaller beads and I'm putting those in the corners just for more support. You're not going to see it in the end, so it's really not a big deal. Then I'm taking more of these bamboo sticks and I'm just measuring them out. I'm going to put 2 pieces on each side, just again to reinforce it a little bit more. Now that I've got it all nice and sturdy, I am going to take my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. I covered it all with the ink, and then I'm taking the white Waverly chalk paint and doing a dry brushing over everything. Then I have these fairy lights I got from a company called On For You. I will try to have their link in the description box down below, and believe you can get them on Amazon as well. So I take one of the strings of lights and I am going to take this vase and I'm going to add the fairy lights in the vase. Now I think that actually 16, I think that was how many come in a pack. So there you go. So once I get the fairy lights in the jar or in the vase, I'm going to take the battery pack and I'm going to hot glue it to the top with the screws down so I can change the battery if needed. Then I'm just going to take this boxwood, and I'm gonna just fill the bottom of this lantern, and I do bring it up into the corner pieces to make it look like it's kind of growing upward. Anyway, that was kind of my thought process with that one. And then I added a piece going down each corner, and that's it. I love this piece. I still have it on my entryway table. I love it. Let me know what you guys think. So for this next piece, I have these two pictures that I got from Dollar Tree. So I glued them together with the popsicle sticks, as I showed you. I kind of lost some of that footage. Then I have this scrapbook paper, and I cover it, and I lined it up as best I could. And I just glue it all onto these signs. Slow down, Tammy. Okay, then I have that banner. I got it from Hobby Lobby, and I took the hanger off and filled the holes. Then I had 4 of the mason jars from the Dollar Tree. I took everything off them and painted them with the white Waverly chalk paint, and I did the same with the banner. And then I have all of these words that I cut out. I saw this in I don't know, it was a magazine or something, and I thought, oh, I can recreate that, so that's what I'm doing. So then I take my Arteza paint pen, and I'm gonna go around and just kind of, I painted little parts of the banner. I don't know, you can see. And then I'm just going around with my brush and some of the Waverly ink chalk paint to kind of distress the edges a little bit. I added those metal pieces back on the top, and then took some of this jute and the jute cording stuff, and I'm just going over the sides. Now I'm not going to the back because then it wouldn't sit flat on my picture. So now that those are all done, I'm just trying to line everything up so that I know exactly where I'm going to be adhering everything. And then I just take my hot glue gun, and I am going to glue them all into place. Once they're all adhered into place, I am just going to take some of that brown craft paper, and I'm going to cover the back because it gives it a more finished look. And then I have those wooden laser cutouts from the Dollar Tree, and I just picked out some of the flowers, and I'm just hot gluing them to the mason jars. And then I'm going to add a hanger to the back, and I know I should have done this before I put the paper on, but I didn't think about it until after the fact. So I just poked little holes in there and hot glued it to the actual sign. And that's it for this one. I absolutely love how this came out. Let me know what you guys think. For this next project, I found these like tobacco baskets, I guess, from Michael's. They were like 90% off. I think I paid like 50 cents each, something ridiculous like that. But anyways, I painted the inside with the Waverly ink, and then I am doing a dry brushing with the, I believe it's mineral chalk paint. And I took the hangers that were on the back and I located them so that they would be on the top, so they would hang vertically instead of horizontally. Then I had these little hooks and I just kind of cut them down so that they would fit because they stuck out a little too much. And I took some of that cement glue and glued those to the baskets. Now I have these little lanterns I got from the Dollar Tree. And oh, here's where I relocate the hanger. Sorry, I thought I already did that. But anyways, I just hung the lanterns on and that's it. I thought they were so adorable. Let me know what you guys think. For this next project, I have this little, I don't even know what it is. I think it's a cutting board of some sort. And I honestly can't even remember where I got it, but I have some of these IOD transfers. And so I decided that I was going to go with the black one up on top. And I did go over this wood piece with some of the Waverly antique wax. Don't do that if you're going to do a rub-on transfer, because it was a half hour of HE double hockey sticks for me. Like, it was horrible trying to get this on. And I know it was because I put the wax on. So, lesson learned there. But at the end, it came out really, really cute. So, I'm okay with it. So then I took some more of that jute cording that I got from Amazon. And I'm going to wrap it around the bottom just a couple of times and the top. And then I am going to make a hanger for this piece as well. And then I took a little bit of the celery chalk paint and I just kind of dry brushed it very, very lightly over the front. And that's it for this one. I think it came out super adorable. Let me know what you guys think. For this next project, I have that round tray. I believe I got it from Amazon. I used the Waverly plaster as well as the, I think it's Nantucket blue from Folk Art. And then I have this beautiful rub-on transfer that I got from Amazon, and I'm just adding it to the center of this tray. Then I have these little, they look like a thread spool. Anyway, I painted them with the same Nantucket blue and just added them to the bottom of the tray. And that's it for this one. I think this is absolutely stunning. Let me know what you guys think. Then I have one of these trays. They're a nesting tray from Woodpecker's Crafts. So I painted the inside with the plaster chalk paint, and I used my moss chalk paint just to do the trim there. And then I'm going to take this stencil and the moss chalk paint, and I am going to stencil this into the center, and it's so beautiful. It came out so great. I'm not big on stencils, but this one really came out nice. And then I'm just doing a little bit of dry brushing on the inside with that same moss chalk paint. I also used the moss chalk paint on the outside, and that's it for this one. I think it's so beautiful. Let me know what you guys think. So now I have this wreath form, some planks from the Dollar Tree, the fork and spatula, some rub-on transfers, and this ribbon. So I'm going to take this ribbon that I got from Michael's at 90% off, and I'm going to wrap it around the entire wreath form. Then I'm going to take the fork, spatula, and the wood plank, and I do some antique wax on it. So then I'm just taking the spatula and the fork, and I'm going to attach the plank to the two pieces, and then I'm going to glue that whole piece to the wreath. Then I'm going to take that same ribbon and I'm going to cut a piece off to make a bow, and I just do the awareness ribbon, scrunch it in the center, and then wrap that twine right around it. And then I'm going to take that twine and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers, I don't know how many times, just a few times, and then take another piece and tie it right in the center. And then I'm just going to glue both of the bows right on the top of this wreath. Then I take some of these rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree and add those to the planks, and then just a couple little leaves on the fork and the spatula. And that's it for this one. I think it's so adorable. I did dovetail the ends on the bow. Let me know what you guys think. So now I have some cotton balls. Well, they're the cotton pods, that's it. And then some of those wooden rings from the Dollar Tree. I think they come 3 in a pack, something like that. So anyways, I'm just hot gluing a few of the pods to the bottom of one of those rings. And then I have some of the magnets from the Dollar Tree that I'm going to be using as well. So I add one of the magnets right to the ring or wreath or whatever you want to call it. And then I have this ribbon. It was a newer ribbon when I first got it. I haven't seen it lately, but I love it. It had all different colors. I think there were like 8 colors in all, and Lord knows I have plenty of them now. So anyway, I'm going to take some twine and tie it in the center. And then I take another small piece of the ribbon to cover the twine. And I add it to the top of the ring and add that ring right to this wood piece, the frame, because it's magnetic. And then I took this home word, the laser cut word, and I just added it to the top, and that was it. I kept it natural and I love it. Let me know what you guys think. So for this one, I have these 2 vases, some beads, some bamboo dowels, and then those 2 wood pieces, the round pieces, those are actually covers from one of the Better Homes and Garden candles from Walmart. So we use everything, right? So I'm just cutting the bamboo dowels to the length that I need, and then I'm going to start gluing them all around this wood cover. And I do it for both. Then I'm taking more of that ribbon and I'm just going to wrap it around the entire piece, and that's just to kind of keep the skewers in place, or dowels in place. Now I know I should have done this first, but I didn't, so here we are. But I flipped it over and I'm going to add those 4 beads right to the bottom of this jar cover. And then I just add my candles, and that's it. I love these. I think they're so adorable. Let me know what you guys think. For this next project, I have these mason jars. They were 8 and 10 inches. I painted them with the plaster Waverly chalk paint, and then I used the brushed silver from, I believe it's Folk Art. Now, at first I painted the tops, but not correctly, so I do go back and fix that. But anyways, so I have these words that I cut out using my Cricut, and I'm going to add them to the jars. And it says, good food, good meat, good gosh, let's eat. I thought it was so cute. So now I'm taking that cording and I try to wrap it around the mason jar, and that's when I realized that I didn't quite paint the tops right. So there we go. Now it's all better. Now I'm going to take the cording and I'm going to wrap it around the top of the jars, and I believe I do it just the one time. Then I take this twine from the Dollar Tree. It's like a beige color and the natural. And I'm just going to wrap it around my fingers a few times. And I am going to do this 3 times to make 3 bows, 1 for each. I put the big one, I put the bow in the center, and then the other 2 bows I put on either side. Now I have this picture I got from Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance, and I am taking my truffle paint. Now I should have sanded that before I painted it, but I didn't, but it all works out in the end. So I take my truffle paint, I go all over the whole thing, and then I take some of the plaster and do a dry brushing around it. Then I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put everything. I got that little cutting board from the Target dollar spot for $1, and the rolling pin I believe I got from Woodpecker's Crafts, and I painted the handles on that. And I'm trying not to paint the little groove on this cutting board, and it does work out in the end. I don't have to. So now I'm just going to glue everything down. Once I get everything glued down, I have some of the transfers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use them on some of the pieces. So then I take this Farmhouse rub-on transfer that Sarah from Sunflowers and DIYing sent me, and I am going to add some of those transfers to the cutting board and the rolling pin before I glue them into place. Now I thought that space at the bottom left was a little bit plain, so I took one of the transfers and I added it there. Now it doesn't show up very well on camera. You can see it much better in person, but anyhow, I think it came out really, really great. So now I'm just hot gluing the rolling pin into place, and then I decide I'm going to make another little bow to add over the transfers that I placed in that empty space. And that's it for this one. I love this piece. I think it's super adorable. Let me know what you guys think of this one. So now I have this little board. It's like a paddle, I think. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, so I painted it all with the truffle chalk paint and then went over it very heavily with the plaster chalk paint. Then I'm going to take more of those rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to add them to this paddle. And then once that's done, I'm going to take some more of that cording and I am going to make a hanger for the handle. And then I felt like the handle was looking a little bit bare, so I'm going to take that cording and I just wrap it around a few times. And that's it for this piece. I think it's super adorable. Let me know what you think. So I have these 2 signs from the Dollar Tree, and I also have 2 palettes. Yeah, so I'm taking some of the plaster and I'm doing a dry brushing over the chalkboard part of these 2 signs. Then I took some of these rub-on transfers and I'm going to add them. I believe I already did at this point, but anyways, so I have 2 of these palettes. I painted them in Waverly ink and then went over with some more of the plaster paint. Then I took some of this foam board and I just added it to the bottom of this crate in case I wanted to put anything in it. I was able to. And I just did a quick brush over with the Waverly ink on the foam board as well. I added more transfers to the side and that was it for this one. I think it's super adorable. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. For this next project, I have 3 of the bamboo cutting boards and these beautiful stamps. They're IOD. I got them from my Victorian Heart. I will have her website linked down below. She's a total sweetheart. So I took some of the white Waverly chalk paint and I dry brushed the cutting boards, and then I am going to use some of the ink that I have and I am going to add it to the stamps and then stamp these cutting boards. Check out all the detail. These stamps are absolutely amazing. I love them. Once I'm done stamping them, I'm going to take these 2 planks that I got from the Dollar Tree. I painted them in the I painted them in white, sorry. And then I'm going to use some wood glue and some hot glue, and I'm going to glue them together. And then I'm going to hot glue these cutting boards to the front side of these planks. Then once those are all glued into place, I'm taking more of that cording and I'm going around the entire perimeter, and then I take some more and I add it to where the seams are in the cutting boards. And then I take more of those rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. I love those things. I don't know about you guys, but And I'm just going to add them to the cutting boards. I topped it off with a simple shoestring bow using that cording, and that's it for this one. I think it's super adorable. I know I keep saying that, but I really do. Let me know what you guys think of this one. For this next project, I have this picture I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance, and I thought it was gorgeous. So anyways, I'm using some more of those mason jars. I ended up using some of that white terracotta paint from Folk Art. I love that stuff too. Oh my goodness. And that's what I used for the mason jars. Then I'm using one of my Chalk Couture transfers. I am no longer a designer, but I do know some. So if you're interested, let me know and I will get you in touch with them. And I just did this homestead transfer on the very top of this picture. I think it came out so beautiful. Then I'm taking some more of that brushed metal in silver, and I am painting the tops of the mason jars. Once those are dry, I'm going to take some of these transfers, the rub-on transfers I got from Amazon. I love these too. Oh my goodness. I just could, like, I don't know. I need to own all of the transfers in the world, I guess. Once I got the transfers down, I just Mod Podged everything, and then I'm taking that same jute cording and I'm going around where the cover meets the jar. And then when I flipped it over, I noticed you could still see some of the white, so I just pulled the cording down and touched that up. Then I wanted them to stick up a little bit, so I added some Jenga blocks to the backs of the jars. Now on the two jars that I put on the sides, those have just one Jenga block on the back each, and then the one that I put in the center will have two because it's going to stick up a little further than the first two. If that makes sense. You'll see in just a second what I'm talking about. Then I am just taking one of my little chippy brush things and I'm just kind of just very lightly distressing this. And then I'm just going to make some simple shoestring bows with that jute cording for the jars. Now I'm just burning off all the little fuzzies, and that's it for this piece. I am in love with this piece. Let me know what you guys think of it. Okay, this next one has to be my absolute favorite farmhouse thing I've ever done. So I have this sign, Don't Mind Nico, right there, from Hobby Lobby. I got it at 40% off. It's that woodpile brand. And I am taking some white Waverly chalk paint and I am painting this sign, but not completely, as you can see. Then I have this rub-on transfer I got off of Amazon. Look how beautiful it is. Oh my goodness. I love this thing. It was so easy to get onto. It's just, oh, I love it. So anyways, I'm just going to work on rubbing this transfer and getting it onto the sign. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I got this transfer off of Amazon and it is in my storefront. So now I am taking this I always want to call it a windmill. I know that's not it. Oh my goodness, why can't I think of it? You know what it is. Let me know in the comments. Like, I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, then I'm going to take this red chalk and I'm going to add that. And then I have the fresh and local part of the transfer that I'm adding to the bottom as well. Weather vane. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, I have this ribbon I got from Michael's. It was 90% off. And then I have this black and white ribbon as well. I believe I got that from Michael's as well. So I'm just going to layer that when I make my bow. Just doing the awareness ribbon and tying the twine in the center. And then I do cover the twine with some more ribbon. And I dovetail the ends, as you can see right here. Then I hot glue it to the corner and I am just tacking the ends of the ribbon down so that it doesn't go everywhere. But that's it. Isn't this gorgeous, guys? I love this piece so much. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, now I have this wood blank from Michael's and more of the transfers. So I'm going to take this wood piece and I am going to paint it with the Waverly chalk paint in moss. And then I do a very light brushing of the celery. Once that's dry, I'm going to use the rub-on transfers to pretty this little sign up. Once I get the transfer on, I'm just going to flip it over and take some of the jute from the Dollar Tree to make a hanger. Then I'm going to take that same jute and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers to make a cute little bow for this sign. So I hot glue it to the corner and then I'm just taking the tails and I'm kind of making them wavy like. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. And that's it for this one. How stinking adorable is this one? Let me know what you think. So for this next one, I have another wood blank from Michael's. I used plaster to paint it and rich black from Folk Art to distress it. Then I'm going to use these transfers that I got off Amazon. Once the transfers are on, I have this ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance. I'm going to make a bow and I'm just going to hot glue it to the center. And then I'm going to stretch the tails of the bow out along the top of the picture. And that's it for this one. How sneaking cute. I think this is adorable. Let me know what you guys think. For this next one, I lost the footage, but I used this blank from Michael's and the rub-on transfer, the same one from the barn. I took that leather piece off and I used a black, like faux leather from the Dollar Tree. I painted it with the plaster and went over it with the ink to distress it, added the transfers, and that's it for this one. I think it's super adorable. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a great big thumbs up for me. It really helps me out. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll consider sticking around and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a brand new video. I thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with me. And I want to wish you all the greatest new year ever. And I will see you next time.